So that entails, can you see me? Also, let me know if you can hear me. Make sure the audio is working. But we got split into two tribes, New Wapoon, New Wayaya, and New Lonon. So New Wayaya is the one's going to tribal right now, and that includes Luke M, Paul, Griffin, Ali, and Elisa. It's going to be interesting because you have Ali and Luke M from Old Tawa and Paul and Griffin from Old Wapoon. So Elisa is currently and technically the swing vote, if that is the case. So not entirely sure what's going to happen here because it's a 2-2-1 split with what happened here. So very interested to see what happens. So yeah, let me know if you're here, if you're rooting for anyone. Also, let me know if you can hear me, because this audio will be cheeky. So I just want to make sure that we are doing A-okay over here with the audio. But they're going to be coming in soon, so I'm going to flip it around. And there we go. All right, hi Queen, hello. All right, they're going to be coming in soon, so I'm going to flip it around. And we're it should be an interesting trial. Thank you for letting me know you can hear me. I appreciate you all so much. But yeah, it should be an interesting tribal council. With every school used to be more nervousness, and if there are any advantages out there, it may feel inclined to play them because we have not had a lot of times to try. We got swapped, had to eat some stuff, and now they're having so while their stomachs are currently reeling what they put in their mouth, now they have to decide who to want to send them. That's a lot. Yes, Heather, I'm gonna pin that. I hear those crumbs in my sleep. I just got them out of my head, so I would probably hear them for another.
Not that any tribal council is easy, but this is probably one of the more difficult ones. We just got through a swap 45 minutes ago. You got a quick challenge in, got a few minutes to say hello to people that you haven't been with necessarily, and now you're here. Luke, what does that do in terms of the dynamic?
Especially when you're reeling from eating something that you've never eaten before, and your stomach's trying to process that, it makes what little time we have for conversation a little difficult, for me at least.
So Paul, what do you do with this new group? How does the dynamic split up? Because you've got a mix of people from all over the place. What's your thoughts as you see this group?
I like all these people, and that really sucks. There's no dead weight here. Everybody's strong and challenged. Everybody's good socially. And I like all of these people. I had real conversations with all of these people, so then you just have to go in, and it's the scrambler. You have to go in and say, I don't know what's about to happen, and then just see what pops out of the hopper. It sucks, though.
Griffin, how much of what's been talked about leading in here is about who just came from what prior tribe?
Sorry, my stomach. I think that has a decent amount to do with it, just because numbers from all the original tribes have been dwindling. So it's something that everybody's thinking about, and then when you mix it all up, it just makes it more complicated, honestly.
Yeah, is there anything easy about this, Ali? I mean, there's people you've worked with before, people you might have known from the initial day. Are there any connections that were easier to get back together, or you feel like this is starting fresh again?
No, nothing is fresh. I've made connections with everybody. The hard part is this is my first tribal council, and just the logistics of it, plus the quick pace of having to hear everyone's case and make decisions. So nothing is easy. It doesn't feel fresh. It feels like this is going to hurt, and it doesn't feel good to hurt. We were hoping to really make it through the whole day without seeing a tribal.
Elisa, tell us about what was going on back there. The challenge ends, you've got 15, 20 minutes. What was that like?
Really fast-paced conversations, trying to also comfort people who are not doing well after the challenge. So yeah, I mean, it was a really compressed period of time, and you know, I got my words in wherever I could, and I just have to hope that they stick, you know, here and in cohesion with other things that have happened over the past couple days.
For those who are new here, some tribal council ground rules, so I'm only going to ask so many questions. When I'm done, I'll say, is there anything else we need to talk about? That'll be your chance to throw something out in case there is anything. Throw it out, not literally. And after that, I'll call for the vote. At that time, there's no more talking. And if you had any intention at some point of swapping or giving away an idol or an advantage, it has to happen before I call for the vote. Nothing back here afterwards or on the transition in between the walk. Anything else you need to talk about? All right, let's get to the vote. I'm gonna let you guys get started because I'm gonna ask him to go, and then you'll stop. Paul, go ahead. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna sneak out here real quickly. So, yes, some crazy dynamics. Ollie mentioned it. This is technically his first time going to tribal, so I'm sure he's nervous. So for some people, that is a lot where you've had people who've been going to back-to-back tribals. They are the only group that is going. So yes, the other two were safe. So this is also going to be interesting because it is a new tribe dynamic. So very intrigued to see what happens here. I know. Hello everyone viewing live, welcome in. So to catch everyone up, we had just swapped our tribes to new groups of 5, 3 tribes of 5. They had a lovely eating challenge, so please go back and watch. There were some very interesting, exquisite things. I got to taste at the end a lovely cocktail. But then, unfortunately, our new tribe, hello, ended up at tribal council. So is Elisa the swing vote since it's 2 and 2, or is she an easy vote off? I don't know. This is gonna be very interesting to see. So yeah, does anyone have any thoughts or what they're thinking of? Oh, here comes an Isaiah. Hello.
Hi. Have you mentioned about the 3 out of 5 situation with the group? Have you figured that out?
No.
How so 3 of these people that are on this tribe were a part of the top 5 finishers for day 1. So they are like day 1, you know, people. Like so maybe
That's true.
because they, you know, maybe on night 1 there might have been.
So that would have been Ollie, Elisa, and Paul.
So if they made some kind of like day 1, like if we get back together at any point, we stick by each other, blah blah blah.
That puts Luke and Griffin on the end. But then that would be interesting because you've got technically Ollie and Luke M, who've been together and have not gone to tribal, who might have forged a stronger bond, and Paul and Griffin, who have made their way through at least a tribal council. So it's
I made a good point. I was just talking to him that he was saying that he doesn't think it's a smart decision if they just go for Elisa because you're showing to the other players and
that you're 2 and 2.
that you're 2 and 2 and that red and yellow are sticking together because why would you do that?
So it just puts another target on your back because as they have to know they're at 15 and they swapped. So really, if you know Survivor, that eventually there comes a merge. And so you have to be very careful, because now this is when those cards are so important when you're looking long term. You have to think long term. You can't be thinking like earlier in the day where it was get to the next challenge. This is now long term game thinking.
Hey, hi Gregory. Good to see you, bud. How you doing, Greg? Miss you, bud. I wish you were here. Congrats on your degree, by the way.
Congratulations. Educated.
But yeah, I really personally, as like a fan of this game, I want it to be interesting. I don't want it to be boring. And I think if they go for Lisa, that is, for me, just a boring role. And I think it could change.
I agree.
Get one of these big guys out.
And this also, outside of this and the first merge tribe, this is the time when, after a swap, for potential advantages to come into play. So I would love to see something come into play. This is a huge thing. I mean, as you all know, you guys watched the summit happen. We don't know what came out of that, but Paul was one of those people at the summit. We don't know. So is this the opportunity for you? Hi, Lily. Yeah, that's my puppy. She is definitely not liking that I've been away for a week. Thank you for taking care of her.
Yes, Allison, I do agree. It's
This is a huge vote. Have a lot of time, and that is the biggest thing. Where if you had like at least like a lunch break to get to know your tribe, so it's gonna be very interesting.
Em just went up to vote, so I'm gonna go ahead back and see you guys later.
Yeah.
Remember to check me out on YouTube.
Yes. Next challenge, check out on YouTube. So we'll see what happens. I think it could be very interesting. I don't have any fun overlays. I wish we have not, Corey. But what I can just throw up is a lovely picture of their banner. I don't have any updated yet of the new tribes, but hopefully tomorrow we will, so I can throw up some more of those. All right, we're gonna head back in. Almost time for the votes.
Tally the votes.
Remember to give any shout outs to your loved ones.
Anyone has an advantage or an immunity idol, you want to play it, now's the time. All these votes. Elisa. Luke. Elisa. Elisa, that's 3, that's enough.
Oh. I know.
Lisa, that was fun. Thank you. Okay, pull them out.
All right, too. So, very sad to see her go. She was also a great competitor in these games. Truly was, always giving 100% out there on the field for her tribe. So, great player. Sad to see her go. And we are now on to our next challenge. So, tune in for that. We'll see you soon. All right, everyone. Thanks. Bye.